In a galaxy far beyond the familiar constellations of Earth, the twin moons of Thal hung in the sky like jewels, casting their silvery glow over the sprawling city of Zerathil. This ancient capital, nestled amidst bioluminescent forests, shimmered with an ethereal light. Its spires, piercing the heavens, reflected in the crystal-clear lakes below, creating a mesmerizing tapestry of colors that danced in harmony with the soft breezes. In this place where time seemed to fold upon itself, the past and future intertwined under the watchful gaze of the alien stars. At the highest tower of the palace, Queen Surf sat upon a throne carved from the living heartwood of a centuries-old tree, its roots entwining with the floor like veins pulsing with a soft green light. Her appearance mirrored the beauty of her kingdom, skin like polished opal shifting hues with her emotions, and eyes of deep, inky blue that held the wisdom of ages. Yet tonight, a shadow of melancholy dimmed her radiance as she gazed over her domain. Despite the thriving culture of the Yan species flourishing under her rule, achieving new heights in art, science, and interstellar diplomacy, she felt a restlessness that her power could not quell. What was missing from her world? She pondered, her heart heavy with the weight of unfulfilled desires. With a wave of her hand, she summoned a holographic display, revealing a detailed map of the galaxy. Her fingers traced the edges of constellations, and her thoughts drifted to recent reports from Earth, a distant world that fascinated her. "Humans," she whispered, her voice carrying a melodic echo that resonated through the empty hall. They were such frail creatures, yet resilient, vastly different from her own kind. She had observed them for years, intrigued by their capacity for change, emotional depth, and their stubborn defiance against the odds. Unlike the Yan, who had grown comfortable in their advanced civilization, humans constantly pushed their limits, adapting to environments they were never meant to survive. Their adaptability, their ability to evolve under pressure, captivated her. It was then that the Queen conceived a bold and unprecedented idea that surprised even her most trusted advisors. She would find a human. Someone whose qualities could challenge and enrich her lineage. A partner not for herself, but for her daughters, Ka and Nera. It was a gamble she believed could ignite a new chapter in Yan history. Among the countless names collected from Earth, one stood out, a man whose intellect and resilience resonated with her vision. Meanwhile, across the starry expanse of the galaxy, Ethan Coles sat hunched over a telescope, unaware that his life was about to change forever. An astrophysicist by trade, Ethan was a dreamer at heart, constantly seeking the mysteries of the universe. Tonight, he perched on a lonely mountain peak in New Mexico, his observatory a modest sanctuary where he could lose himself in the vastness of space. He rubbed his eyes, weary yet satisfied after a night of data collection. The stars, old friends, could no longer chase away the loneliness that had settled into his bones. Despite his passion for the cosmos, a sense of isolation gnawed at him. As he gazed into the night sky, wondering if there was more to life than cold, precise science, little did he know that his musings had drawn the attention of something far beyond his imagination. Suddenly, the night air shifted. A low hum vibrated through the ground beneath his feet, and Ethan frowned, stepping outside his observatory. The chill of the mountain air bit through his jacket, and then he saw it, a strange light flaring in the sky, far too bright to be an ordinary star or satellite. It split into 3 points of brilliant blue-white light, descending slowly toward Earth. His pulse quickened, and his breath misted in the cold air. Before he could reach for his radio or phone, the lights enveloped him, bright as a second dawn. The last thing he saw was the stars blurring into a whirlpool of light before plunging into darkness. When Ethan awoke, he found himself in a chamber unlike anything he had ever seen, surrounded by a soft pulsing glow emanating from the very walls themselves. He sat up groggy, his heart racing as he surveyed the alien architecture, the walls curving seamlessly and adorned with glowing symbols. In the center stood a figure, a woman or something that resembled one. Her skin shimmered with an opalescent sheen, shifting from deep indigo to luminous violet, while her hair, flowing like liquid silver, surrounded her head in a soft halo. "Welcome, Ethan Cole," she spoke, her voice a distant melody that vibrated in his bones. "I am Queen Surf of Thal Aoa." Ethan struggled to comprehend his surroundings, his mind racing. This can't be real. Am I hallucinating? "You are not dreaming," she assured him, a hint of amusement in her tone. "You are aboard my vessel, far from Earth. I have brought you here to offer you a proposition, one that could change the fate of my people and perhaps your own." Ethan's legs felt weak, yet he forced himself to stay upright, clinging to control. "Why me? What do you want?" Queen Surf studied him with piercing gaze. "Your world is filled with many who possess intellect and strength, but you have something more, a curiosity, a resilience that defies logic. I believe you might fulfill a role crucial to my vision for Thal Aoa's future. I wish for you to become the father of my daughter's children. In doing so, you will help forge a new path for my people, and I offer you a life of privilege, knowledge beyond your imagination, and a place among us." Her words struck him like a physical blow, leaving him momentarily speechless. It was absurd, impossible. Yet, gazing into her ancient eyes, he sensed a sincerity that made his heart race for different reasons. "I'm just an ordinary guy. What makes you think I'm suitable for whatever this is?" Queen Surf stepped closer, the air around them thrumming with a strange energy. "You are not ordinary, Ethan Cole. You see beyond the limits of your kind, as I see beyond mine. You question, you adapt, and you survive. These are qualities I seek for my daughters, qualities that could reshape the destiny of my people." A holographic projection appeared beside her, showcasing images of her daughters, two beings as beautiful and enigmatic as their mother, yet each with a different aura. Ka, with her sharp, calculating gaze, and Nira, radiating warmth that seemed to reach through the projection itself. "What if I refuse?" Ethan whispered, a chill running down his spine. Her expression softened, almost sorrowful. "You are free to choose, Ethan. I will not force you into a fate you do not wish. But if you accept, you will be part of something greater than yourself, a bond that transcends worlds, a chance to become more than you ever dreamed." As she extended her hand, fingers glowing faintly in the dim light, Ethan felt the weight of the universe pressing down on him. Would he remain in the shadows of his stars, or reach for something beyond? The choice. As the echo of Queen Surf's words faded into the luminous chamber, Ethan stood frozen, grappling with the surreal reality of his situation. The weight of her proposition hummed heavily in the air, its implications spiraling through his mind like a whirlwind. The pulse of the alien vessel surrounded him, a soft, rhythmic hum that matched the racing of his heart. He could hardly believe he was here, in a place far beyond his wildest dreams, yet facing an unprecedented choice. Ethan's thoughts raced. The enormity of the Queen's proposal loomed over him. Fathering the children of an alien queen, he was an ordinary human, a scientist, not some legendary hero plucked from the annals of myth. Yet there was an undeniable allure in the possibility, an adventure that could challenge the very fabric of his existence. He glanced at the holographic image of Surf's daughters flickering beside her. Ka, with her sharp features and penetrating gaze, and Nira, whose warmth seemed to radiate even through the projection. They were stunning, enigmatic beings, and the thought of becoming part of their lives sent shivers down his spine. "Why me?" he finally asked, his voice a blend of curiosity and uncertainty. There must be countless others on Earth more qualified, more capable. Queen Surf's expression softened, the sharp lines of her face smoothing as she regarded him with understanding. "You underestimate the value of your experiences, Ethan. Humanity has faced challenges that would have crushed others. Your species has risen from ashes repeatedly, adapting and evolving. This resilience, coupled with your intellect and curiosity, makes you uniquely suited for this role." Ethan absorbed her words, still struggling with the weight of such a destiny. The Queen was right about one thing: humans were remarkable in their determination to survive and thrive. He thought back to the countless times he had witnessed humanity's greatest strengths: the will to explore the unknown, the spark of creativity that had birthed art and technology, and the tenacity that often overcame even the most daunting obstacles. Yet, did that qualify him to be a father to an alien lineage? "What if I'm not enough?" he asked, vulnerability creeping into his tone. "What if I fail?" Queen Surf stepped closer, the light around them shimmering in response to her movements. "You will not be alone in this endeavor. My daughters will be by your side, and I will guide you. Our cultures may be different, but the bond of family transcends those boundaries. Together, we will create something extraordinary." The sincerity in her voice resonated within him, igniting a spark of hope. Ethan took a deep breath, feeling the air shimmer with the weight of his decision. He remembered the loneliness he had often felt, despite his achievements. Would he trade that isolation for a chance to be part of something greater than himself? A connection that could bridge worlds? "I accept," he finally said, his voice steady and firm, though his heart raced with the enormity of his choice. A radiant smile spread across Queen Surf's face, illuminating her features. "Then together, we shall forge a new path," she declared, her voice echoing with a sense of purpose. In that moment, the very fabric of the ship seemed to respond, the soft glow intensifying, enveloping them in a cocoon of warmth and light. As Ethan felt the surge of energy, he realized he had crossed a threshold into the unknown, leaving behind the familiar boundaries of his life on Earth. The chamber pulsed with a newfound energy, as if celebrating his decision. "Come," the Queen beckoned, leading him through an archway that opened into a corridor shimmering with bioluminescent patterns. The air was thick with an intoxicating mix of scents, fragrant and floral, hinting at the lush world outside. As they walked, Ethan marveled at the smoothness of the walls, a blend of organic shapes and intricate designs, breathing life into the space around them. The corridor opened into a vast hall, where ethereal light poured from a crystalline ceiling that seemed to capture the stars themselves. The walls bore paintings that told stories of the Yan people, legendary battles, celebrations of love, and the delicate balance of their relationship with nature. Each image flowed seamlessly into the next, a tapestry of vibrant colors that danced with life. "This is where our council meets," Queen Surf explained, her voice reverberating through the hall. "Decisions that shape our destiny are made here, where the past and future converge." As they walked, Ethan couldn't help but feel the weight of history in the air. The Yan were an ancient civilization, yet there was an undeniable vitality coursing through their society. He found himself captivated by the artistry and complexity of their culture, sensing a richness that made his own world seem painfully simplistic. After what felt like an eternity, they reached a large circular platform at the center of the hall. A holographic projection flickered to life, displaying images of a sprawling landscape, the surface of Thal Ara beneath the twin moons. The lush biomes and diverse ecosystems sparked Ethan's scientific curiosity, the possibilities for exploration thrilling him. "This is the heart of Zerathil," the Queen explained, gesturing to the projection. "The lifeblood of our city, where our people gather for knowledge and celebration. Soon, you will be a part of this vibrant tapestry." Ethan marveled at the rich colors, the emerald forests and sapphire waters depicted in the hologram. "It's beautiful," he said, overwhelmed by the intricate beauty of the alien world. "I can't believe I'm really here." "Believe it, Ethan," Queen Surf replied, her voice a melodic comfort. "This world holds wonders you've yet to imagine. But first, you must meet my daughters and learn the ways of our people. They, too, are eager to know you." Just as she spoke, the hologram shifted, revealing two figures standing against the backdrop of the sprawling landscape. As the images sharpened, Ethan's breath caught in his throat. The daughters of Queen Surf were breathtaking. Ka stood tall and regal, her posture exuding confidence, her gaze sharp and calculating. Nearer, With her flowing hair and soft smile, radiated warmth and compassion, the kind of presence that felt like home. "Prepare yourself, Ethan," Queen Surf said, her eyes sparkling with anticipation. "You are about to meet the future of our kind." Before he could respond, the floor beneath them shifted, a gentle vibration signaling another ascent. Ethan felt his heart race, a mix of excitement and trepidation as they were lifted towards the surface. The air grew cooler, filled with a mingling sense of blooming flora and rich earth, a stark contrast to the sterile confines of his life on Earth. As they emerged into the open air, Ethan was struck by the beauty of Zerathil. The twin moons hung low in the sky, casting a silver light over the city. He felt as if he had stepped into a living painting, where the colors were more vibrant, the air more fragrant, and the stars brighter than anything he had ever known. Surf led him down a winding path lined with luminescent flowers, their petals shimmering as they absorbed the moonlight. The streets were bustling with Yan citizens, their laughter and chatter creating a harmonious melody that resonated in the air. Ethan's senses were overwhelmed by the sights and sounds, an alien world teeming with life. "This is only the beginning," Queen Surf said, a proud smile on her face. "You will learn our ways, our language, and most importantly, the bond of family that will soon unite us all." Ethan felt the weight of her words sink in. He was stepping into an adventure that would forever change him, and in that moment, he felt the thrill of possibility. As they approached a grand structure, a palace that seemed to rise from the very earth, it became clear that his journey had just begun. A sense of purpose surged through him. He had accepted the challenge, and now, as he stood before the threshold of a new life, he couldn't help but wonder what future awaited him and the daughters of Queen Surf. The thought of shaping a new legacy filled him with a sense of determination he had never felt before. Stepping into the palace, Ethan knew he was no longer just a visitor from Earth. He was a participant in an unfolding destiny, woven into the very fabric of this extraordinary world. "Welcome, Ethan Cole," echoed the voice of Surf, as they crossed into the expansive hall adorned with murals depicting the stories of the Yan. "Your journey as a father and a bridge between our worlds begins now." And with those words, he took his first step into a future that was as uncertain as it was exhilarating, ready to embrace the unknown. The bonding ritual. The palace hummed with energy, the walls alive with vibrant colors that seemed to shift and dance as Ethan and Queen Surf entered. The vast hall was adorned with exquisite tapestries, each telling the story of the Yan people, tales of love, loss, and the unyielding spirit of a civilization that had thrived among the stars. As Ethan stepped deeper into this otherworldly realm, he felt a wave of awe wash over him, mixed with a sense of purpose that surged within him. "Here is where our destinies intertwine," Surf said, her voice resonating with a warmth that enveloped him like a protective cloak. "Today marks the beginning of a profound journey for all of us." Ethan's heart raced with both excitement and apprehension. The enormity of his decision echoed in his mind. He had chosen to embark on a path fraught with uncertainty, yet filled with the promise of discovery and connection. As he stood before the grand dais at the center of the hall, he could feel the weight of expectations resting upon his shoulders. He was not merely an ambassador between worlds. He was to become a father to Surf's daughters, a role he had never envisioned for himself. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifted. The air thickened with anticipation as the sound of soft footsteps echoed through the hall. Ethan turned to see two figures approaching, a graceful blend of beauty and strength. Ka, with her striking features and piercing gaze, walked beside Nira, whose gentle smile radiated warmth and kindness. They were poised, yet there was an unmistakable eagerness in their expressions. "Welcome, Ethan," Ka said, her voice steady yet laced with curiosity. "We have been waiting to meet you." Nira stepped forward, her eyes sparkling like the stars overhead. "We are excited to learn about you, your world, and to embark on this journey together." Ethan felt a surge of emotion. Here were two incredible beings, each with their own hopes and dreams, standing before him with open hearts. He took a deep breath, realizing that this moment was as much about them as it was about him. "Thank you," he replied, his voice steadying. "I'm looking forward to getting to know both of you." As the initial introductions faded, Surf guided them toward a small chamber just off the main hall. The room was filled with delicate crystals that refracted light into a dazzling array of colors, creating an atmosphere that felt almost sacred. In the center lay a circular platform adorned with intricate carvings, an emblem of unity that pulsed gently, radiating warmth and energy. "This is a circle of bonding," Surf explained, gesturing to the platform. "Here, we will perform the ritual of connection, a sacred ceremony that will bind our families together." Ethan's heart fluttered at the gravity of the moment. He felt a twinge of anxiety mixed with excitement. "What does the ritual entail?" he asked, eager to understand the significance of this moment. "The ritual is a celebration of trust and unity," Surf said, her tone solemn yet inviting. "We will share our essences, our experiences, and our hopes for the future. It is a profound act that strengthens our bonds and allows us to create a shared destiny." Ethan nodded, feeling the weight of her words. This was more than a formality. It was a sacred commitment that would intertwine their lives and fates. He felt a rush of determination. This was a chance to forge connections that transcended the boundaries of their worlds. Car stepped forward, her gaze unwavering. "We will each share a memory that has shaped us. This will allow us to understand each other deeply, creating the foundation for our new family." Ethan took a deep breath, knowing he had to be vulnerable. "Okay, I'll go first," he said, stepping onto the platform. The warm light enveloped him, creating a comforting aura as he focused on a moment from his past. "I remember a day when I was a child," he began, his voice steady despite the nerves bubbling beneath the surface. "My father took me to a science fair, and I saw a demonstration of a small robot that could navigate mazes. I was fascinated. That day ignited my passion for science, for understanding the world around me. It taught me that curiosity could lead to incredible discoveries." The memories flowed freely as Ethan spoke. He shared tales of his upbringing, the challenges he faced, and the victories that defined him. He spoke of his desire to connect with others, to bridge gaps, and to embrace the unknown. As he shared his essence, he felt the energy of the platform resonate with his words, weaving a connection between him and the two Yan women. When he finished, he felt lighter, as if a weight had been lifted from him. Ka stepped onto the platform next, her posture regal yet relaxed. She took a moment to gather her thoughts before speaking. "I was raised to be a leader," she began, her voice resonating with strength. "From a young age, I was taught the importance of responsibility and sacrifice. My mother shared tales of our ancestors who fought bravely to protect our people and our way of life. However, it was not until I faced my first challenge as a leader that I truly understood the weight of those stories. I had to make a choice that would affect the lives of many. In that moment, I realized that leadership is not just about authority, it's about understanding, compassion, and the willingness to learn." Ethan felt a deep respect for Ka as she spoke. Her strength was evident, yet there was vulnerability in her words. She was not merely a figure of power, she was a person who understood the complexities of leadership and the sacrifices it required. Next, Nera stepped onto the platform, her demeanor gentle yet resolute. "I was always drawn to the beauty of our world," she said softly. "As a child, I would spend hours exploring the forests, listening to the songs of the wind and the whispers of the trees. I learned that nature holds wisdom beyond comprehension. It taught me to embrace change and to find joy in the smallest of things. I believe that love and kindness can heal even the deepest wounds." As Nera shared her memories, Ethan felt a wave of warmth wash over him. Her words painted vivid images of a world bursting with life, and he felt a deep yearning to explore the landscapes she described. It was clear that Nera's heart was as vast as the world itself, ready to embrace the new journey that lay ahead. Once they had all shared their memories, the circle of bonding pulsed with energy, weaving their stories into a vibrant tapestry of connections. The air crackled with anticipation as Surf stepped forward, her presence commanding yet nurturing. "Now, we will take the final step in the ritual," she said, her voice a harmonious blend of authority and warmth. "We will join hands and share a moment of unity, symbolizing our commitment to each other and the future we will build together." Ethan and the sisters joined hands, their palms warm against each other. As they stood together, the energy of the platform surged, wrapping them in a cocoon of light. In that moment, Ethan felt an overwhelming sense of belonging. The fears and doubts that had plagued him began to dissolve, replaced by a deep-rooted conviction that this was where he was meant to be. "Now close your eyes," Surf instructed. "Focus on the bond we have created. Feel the energy of our connection flowing between us." Ethan obeyed, letting the warmth envelop him as he focused on the pulsating energy around them. Images danced behind his eyelids, visions of laughter, of shared experiences, of the adventures that awaited them. He could feel Ka's strength, Nira's compassion, and Surf's wisdom blending with his own essence, creating a kaleidoscope of emotions that surged within him. Suddenly, he was transported to a vibrant landscape, the colors more vivid than anything he had ever seen. He stood on a hill overlooking a breathtaking vista, a sprawling forest bathed in golden light, the sound of laughter echoing in the distance. He felt the wind on his face, a gentle caress that whispered promises of adventures yet to come. As the vision intensified, he saw Ka leading a group of children, teaching them the art of archery beneath the watchful gaze of the twin moons. Nira danced among the flowers, her laughter mingling with the rustling leaves, creating a melody that resonated deep within his soul. And Surf stood proudly, a figure of strength and grace, guiding her people into a future filled with hope. With a jolt, the vision shattered, and Ethan opened his eyes to find himself back in the hall, the circle of bonding still pulsing with energy. The connection was palpable, the bond they had formed transcending the boundaries of their worlds. The room erupted in soft, harmonious melodies, the air shimmering with joy. Ethan looked at Ka and Nera, their expressions radiant with happiness. He felt a surge of love and acceptance, a feeling that he had long yearned for but had never fully experienced. "We are now family," Surf proclaimed, her voice resonating through the hall. "Together, we will create a legacy that unites our worlds." As Ethan stood among them, he knew this was just the beginning. They had embarked on a journey that would forever change the course of their lives. With newfound determination, he embraced the challenges ahead, ready to explore the depths of their connection and the wonders that awaited them on the horizon. And so, in the heart of Zerathil, beneath the light of twin moons, the bonds of family were forged, and a new chapter began, one filled with adventure, love, and the promise of a shared future. Trials and triumphs. As the days turned into weeks, Ethan found himself immersed in the rich tapestry of Yan culture. His life on this alien world was a whirlwind of experiences, each day presenting new challenges and opportunities for connection. The initial excitement of the bonding ritual had blossomed into a profound sense of belonging, yet he understood that with this unity came the responsibility of navigating the complexities of their intertwined lives. The palace was alive with activity. Ka and Nera were not only adjusting to Ethan's presence, but also to the new expectations that came with their budding family. Under Surf's guidance, they embraced their roles, focusing on understanding their heritage and how it intertwined with the human world. Each evening, they gathered in the grand hall, sharing stories from their lives, their families, and the traditions that shaped their identities. Ethan was determined to reciprocate the openness he had received. He shared tales from Earth, introducing them to the wonders of human culture, from music and art to science and adventure. His descriptions of sprawling cities, lush forests, and endless oceans painted a vivid picture of his home planet. Ka and Nera listened intently, their eyes sparkling with curiosity. One afternoon, while walking through the palace gardens, Nera paused to gaze at the flowers that bloomed in vibrant colors. "What are those?" she asked, pointing at a cluster of yellow blossoms. "Those are daisies," Ethan replied, his heart warming at her interest. They symbolize purity and new beginnings in my culture. Nera leaned closer, inhaling the delicate fragrance. They remind me of the first day of spring in our realm, when life begins anew. Each blossom tells a story of resilience. Ethan felt a pang of admiration for Nera's poetic perspective. As they stood in that moment, surrounded by flowers that mirrored their bond, he realized how intertwined their lives had become. He was learning not just about their world, but also about the beauty of shared experiences. However, the harmonious atmosphere was not without its challenges. There were moments of tension as the realities of their disparate cultures began to surface. Ha, driven by her innate sense of duty, struggled with her feelings of inadequacy. Despite her confidence in the arena, she felt unprepared for the role of a sister and future co-mother. One evening, while practicing her archery under the moonlight, Ethan approached her. She had been firing arrows with precision, but he could sense the frustration in her stance. "Ka," he called softly, "can we talk?" She turned, her expression a mix of surprise and wariness. "What is there to discuss? I am merely honing my skills. I've seen you in the arena, you're incredible, but that's not what I'm talking about. I see how hard you push yourself. You don't have to be perfect all the time," he said gently, stepping closer. "You're not alone in this. We're family now." Ka lowered her bow, her expression softening. "I fear I am not prepared to guide you through our traditions. I've always been the warrior, the protector. What if I fail in this role?" Ethan smiled, recognizing the vulnerability beneath her fierce exterior. "We'll figure it out together. We can learn from each other. I'm here to support you, just as you're here for me." Her shoulders relaxed, and she let out a breath she hadn't realized she was holding. "You are a good man, Ethan. I appreciate your words." That conversation marked a turning point in their relationship. Slowly, Ka began to open up, allowing Ethan glimpses of her inner world. They forged a friendship grounded in mutual respect and understanding, each offering strength to the other as they navigated their new roles. Meanwhile, Nera embraced her nurturing side wholeheartedly. She found joy in preparing meals with Ethan, blending Earth's culinary traditions with the exotic flavors of Yan cuisine. Together, they experimented with ingredients, creating dishes that bridged their two worlds. One afternoon, as they stirred a pot of fragrant stew, Nera looked up, her face alight with excitement. "Ethan, do you believe in the power of food to bring people together?" she asked, her eyes sparkling. "Absolutely. It's a universal language," he replied, stirring the pot. "Every meal tells a story, connects cultures, and creates memories." Nera nodded enthusiastically. "We should host a feast to celebrate our family, a gathering that honors both our cultures." Ethan's heart soared at the idea. "That sounds perfect. We can invite your mother, the council, and anyone else you want. Let's showcase the best of both worlds." Over the following days, the preparations for the feast became a shared project that brought the three of them closer. Ka honed her skills in the kitchen, crafting dishes that complemented Nera's creations. Ethan contributed by sharing recipes from his grandmother, evoking fond memories of family gatherings back home. As they cooked, laughter filled the air. They danced around the kitchen, playfully debating the best seasonings, and Ethan even attempted to teach them a few dance moves. The kitchen became a hub of joy and creativity, echoing with the sounds of their camaraderie. However, not all was serene in their preparations. One evening, while chopping vegetables, Ka's face fell as she glanced at the doorway, her expression turning serious. "What if they don't accept us?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "What if they see us as an outsider?" Ethan set down his knife, sensing the weight of her worry. "You can't control how others perceive us, but we can show them who we are. We're a family, and that's what matters." Nera chimed in, her tone reassuring. "Our bond is strong, Ka. If we stand together, they will see our unity. They will understand that we are creating something beautiful." Ka took a deep breath, allowing their words to sink in. "You're right, I must be brave for all of us." The day of the feast arrived, a vibrant celebration filled with anticipation and a hint of anxiety. The grand hall was transformed into a dazzling spectacle, adorned with garlands of flowers from both worlds. The mingling scents of spices and roasted meats wafted through the air, creating a warm and inviting atmosphere. As guests began to arrive, Ethan felt a rush of nerves. He stood beside Kaa and Nera, their hands clasped tightly together, a symbol of their unity. Sirth welcomed the council and their family with grace, her presence radiating confidence. The first guests were their closest friends and allies. As they entered, Ethan watched as their expressions shifted from curiosity to delight. The moment they tasted the dishes, laughter erupted, and the atmosphere transformed into one of celebration. "Your dish is exquisite, Nera," one of the council members exclaimed, savoring the blend of flavors. "And this spice, it's extraordinary," another added, gesturing toward Kaa's contribution. Ethan felt his heart swell with pride. The feast was a resounding success, a beautiful representation of their worlds merging into something new. Conversations flowed freely, laughter echoed in the hall, and he could feel the barriers between cultures begin to dissolve. As the night deepened, Kaa stood up, raising her glass. "To family," she declared, her voice steady and strong. "To our union and the promise of a brighter future." "To family," the guests echoed, their voices resonating through the hall, a chorus of acceptance and joy. In that moment, surrounded by warmth and laughter, Ethan realized that he had not only forged a bond with Kaa and Nera, but also with their people. He was no longer an outsider, he was part of a community, a family that transcended worlds. As the festivities continued, Ethan found himself reflecting on how far they had come together. Each moment of doubt had been met with support, each challenge with resilience. They had transformed from strangers to a family woven together by shared experiences, laughter, and love. Later that evening, as the guests began to depart, Ethan stood with Kaa and Nera in the courtyard, gazing up at the twin moons that illuminated the sky. "Today was incredible," Nera said, her voice filled with wonder. "I feel as if we have truly begun to carve our path together." Kaa nodded, a smile gracing her lips. "This is only the beginning. We have much to learn and many adventures ahead." Ethan looked at them, gratitude swelling in his chest. "I wouldn't want to share this journey with anyone else. Together, we'll create a legacy that honors both our worlds." As the three of them stood together, a powerful sense of unity enveloped them. They had faced challenges, celebrated triumphs, and woven their lives into a vibrant tapestry that was uniquely theirs. The bond they had forged was unbreakable, a testament to the strength of love, acceptance, and the incredible journey that lay ahead. In that moment, beneath the glowing moons of Zirathil, Ethan knew that their adventure was just beginning. Together, they would face whatever came next, embracing the unknown with open hearts and unwavering resolve. The journey ahead was filled with promise, and he was ready to embrace it, alongside the family he had never expected to find. The challenge of integration. In the weeks that followed the feast, the harmonious atmosphere of the palace began to shift as the challenges of integration loomed over Ethan, Kaa, and Nera. While their bond had strengthened through shared experiences, the outside world was still adjusting to the idea of a human as part of their royal family. Whispers echoed through the palace corridors, and the council members were split in their opinions, debating the implications of their union. One evening, as Ethan sat with Kaa and Nera in the garden, the sun dipping below the horizon and painting the sky in shades of orange and purple, the tension in the air was palpable. They had just returned from a meeting with the council, where discussions had turned heated. Kaa leaned back on the grass, her fingers brushing against the delicate petals of the flowers. "They still doubt us," she said, her voice tinged with frustration. "Some council members believe I've betrayed our traditions by accepting you into our family." Nera nodded, her expression serious. "They fear what they do not understand. A human in our midst is still a radical concept for many." Ethan felt a knot form in his stomach. I don't want to cause any division between you and your people. I came here to support you, not to create conflict. Ka turned to him, her eyes fierce yet soft. You are not the source of our problems, Ethan. It is their reluctance to embrace change that holds us back. We need to show them that our bond is strong, that it benefits everyone. Ethan took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the situation. But how? I can't change their minds alone. Then let's do it together, Nera suggested, a spark of determination igniting in her eyes. We can hold demonstrations, showcasing our strengths as a family. We can invite the council to witness our unity in action. Ka's expression brightened. Yes, a series of events to celebrate our heritage, both human and Yan. It will be a testament to the power of collaboration. As they brainstormed, a plan began to take shape. They envisioned hosting competitions that highlighted the unique abilities of each culture, inviting council members and citizens to participate. Events would feature archery, cooking contests, storytelling sessions, and even games that combined elements from both their worlds. Over the next few days, excitement replaced tension. Ethan, Ka, and Nera worked tirelessly, coordinating schedules and gathering supplies. The palace gardens transformed into a vibrant arena for their upcoming events, filled with colorful decorations, banners celebrating their cultures, and booths showcasing various crafts and cuisines. As the day of the first event approached, however, doubts began to creep in. Ethan watched as Ka practiced her archery in the early morning light, her focus unwavering. Yet, he could see the underlying tension in her shoulders. "Are you okay?" he asked, stepping closer. "You seem a bit on edge." She paused, lowering her bow. "I worry about the council's judgment. What if I fail to represent our people well? What if they don't see the value in what we're trying to achieve?" Ethan reached out, placing a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "You're already doing something incredible by bringing us together. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about connection. You have Nera and me standing with you." Ka took a deep breath, her determination shining through her uncertainty. "You're right. Together, we are strong." On the day of the first event, the sun shone brightly, casting a warm glow over the palace grounds. Citizens gathered, their faces filled with curiosity and excitement. Council members arrived, their expressions a mix of skepticism and intrigue. Ethan felt his heart race as he looked at the sea of faces before him. Nera stepped forward, her voice ringing out with enthusiasm. "Welcome, everyone. Today, we invite you to celebrate the union of our cultures, to witness the beauty of our shared heritage." The opening ceremonies were filled with traditional Yan music and performances that showcased their rich history. Dancers twirled in flowing garments, their movements echoing the stories of their ancestors. Ethan found himself captivated, feeling the rhythm of their culture pulse around him. As the day unfolded, the competitions began. Ka demonstrated her archery skills, showcasing not only precision, but also the grace and power that came with her heritage. Each shot she took was met with applause, slowly winning over the crowd. Ethan's turn came next, and he stood before the gathered spectators, heart pounding in his chest. "Today, I will share with you a taste of Earth," he announced, revealing a variety of ingredients and cooking tools. He began demonstrating a dish from his grandmother's recipe book, stuffed peppers, filled with grains and spices. The crowd watched with curiosity as he explained each step, blending flavors in a way that resonated with his upbringing. As the aroma filled the air, people began to nod, their expressions shifting from skepticism to interest. The first taste test yielded a chorus of delighted reactions, and he could feel the barriers beginning to dissolve. Later, as the storytelling segment commenced, Ka and Nera shared tales from their respective cultures, each narrative revealing the depth of their histories. Their words danced through the air, weaving a connection between the listeners and the stories. "Stories have a power beyond words," Nera proclaimed, her voice ringing out. "They bind us together, teaching us empathy and understanding. Today, we not only share our stories, we forge a new narrative, one of unity." As the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a golden hue over the event, the atmosphere shifted, laughter echoed, and friendships began to blossom between the different groups. Ethan observed council members laughing with citizens, exchanging stories and food. It was a moment of transformation, a glimpse of what their future could hold. However, not everyone was convinced. A faction of the council remained skeptical, determined to voice their dissent. As the final event, a mixed archery competition, unfolded, one council member stood up, raising his voice above the crowd. "This is all just a distraction. A human cannot represent our people. Our traditions are sacred, and they should not be diluted by foreign influence." Gasps rippled through the audience, tension thickening the air. Ethan felt his heart sink. Carr stepped forward, her eyes fierce. "You speak of traditions, yet you ignore the essence of our culture, adaptability. We are not erasing our history. We are expanding it. We can honor our past while embracing our future." The crowd murmured, uncertainty hanging in the air. Ethan knew this was the pivotal moment. He stepped forward, drawing from the strength of his newfound family. Change can be daunting, but it can also lead to incredible growth. What we're creating here isn't about one culture overshadowing another. It's about celebration. Together, we can become something more than we ever imagined. Nira joined him, her voice steady and confident. "Our cultures have their unique beauty, and together they can flourish. We must not fear the unknown, but embrace it, for it holds the potential for a brighter future for all of us." The council members scoffed, but murmurs of agreement began to rise from the crowd. One by one, others joined in, voicing their support. The momentum shifted, and the atmosphere began to crackle with energy. As the mixed archery competition commenced, Ethan could feel the air vibrating with excitement. Participants teamed up, combining human and yan techniques, showcasing the beauty of their differences while creating something new. Carr stood shoulder to shoulder with Ethan, her bow raised as they aimed at the target. "This is what it means to be a family," she said, her voice steady. "We may come from different worlds, but together we create a united front." With every arrow that flew through the air, the division began to fade, replaced by a sense of camaraderie. The crowd erupted into cheers as competitors high-fived and celebrated their victories, regardless of origin. As the sun set, the event concluded with a celebration filled with music, dancing, and laughter. The night was a testament to their journey, one of overcoming doubt and embracing the beauty of unity. As the final notes of music echoed through the gardens, Ethan felt a sense of accomplishment wash over him. They had faced adversity, but together, they had transformed skepticism into acceptance. Carr turned to him, her eyes gleaming. "We did it, Ethan. We showed them the power of our bond." Nira chimed in, wrapping her arms around both of them. "Today was just the beginning. Our journey is far from over, but we've taken the first step toward building a brighter future together." As they stood together under the starlit sky, Ethan realized how much had changed since he first arrived on this alien world. He had stepped into the unknown, a realm filled with challenges, but through it all, he had found a family that embraced him fully. With Carr and Nira by his side, he felt ready to face whatever lay ahead. Together, they would continue to weave their stories, forging a legacy that celebrated both their worlds, a testament to the strength of love, unity, and the beautiful journey that was yet to unfold. The bond of trust. With the success of the events echoing in their hearts, the dynamic between Ethan, Carr, and Nira had deepened further. The celebration had not only united their people, but also solidified their family bond. Yet, beneath the joy lay an underlying tension. The council's doubts had not completely vanished. Some members remained resolute in their opposition to the human presence within the royal family. In the days following the event, Carr found herself preparing for a meeting with the council that would address their grievances head-on. The air in the palace was thick with anticipation. As she donned her ceremonial attire, she felt a mixture of pride and trepidation. Nira entered her chambers, a determined look on her face. "Are you ready for this?" Nera asked, adjusting the intricate collar of Ka's gown, a beautiful blend of Yan and human designs. Ka took a deep breath, smoothing down the fabric. "I am, but it doesn't make me any less nervous. I know they're still not fully on board with Ethan being part of our family." "Remember," Nera said, her tone firm yet comforting, "we have proven our strength together. Today, we must show them that our unity is not only valid but vital." Ka nodded, feeling a surge of confidence. With Nera by her side, she knew they could face whatever challenges lay ahead. As they entered the council chamber, Ethan waited just outside, pacing nervously. He looked up, his eyes meeting Ka's, and instantly he felt reassured. She smiled, and for a brief moment, they were all connected by an unspoken understanding. "Are you ready?" he asked, stepping closer. "I am." "We are," Ka replied, taking his hand. Together, they walked into the chamber, a grand room adorned with intricate murals depicting the history of their people. The council members sat in a semicircle, their expressions a mixture of skepticism and intrigue. Ethan's heart raced as he scanned the faces. Some were familiar, others were complete strangers. The head counselor, an elderly woman with piercing eyes, leaned forward. "You've called us together to discuss the future of your union," she said, her voice commanding attention. While the recent events were illuminating, doubts still linger about the implications of this alliance. Ka took a deep breath, ready to articulate their purpose. "We are here to demonstrate that our bond transcends our differences. It is not merely a union between a human and a Yan, but a partnership that can enrich both our cultures." "Partnership," one council member interjected, a frown etched on his face. "What can a human bring to our people that we cannot achieve on our own? Your kind has not walked the paths we have for centuries." Ethan stepped forward, feeling the weight of the moment. "With all due respect, I'm not here to overshadow your traditions. I want to learn from you, to understand your history and share my own. Together, we can create something unique that respects both our heritages." "Yet, there are risks," the head counselor replied. "What if this alliance leads to chaos? Your kind has a tendency to disrupt." Ka's voice rose, filled with conviction. "What is chaos but a chance for change? We are not asking you to abandon your beliefs. We are inviting you to expand them. Change is necessary for growth, and growth is essential for the survival of our people." Nera joined in, her eyes sparkling with passion. "We have shown through our recent events that our cultures can thrive together. Look at the joy it brought our citizens. They embraced one another, learned from each other, and even formed new friendships. This is the path forward." A murmur rippled through the council, and Ethan could feel a shift in the atmosphere. The head counselor regarded them closely, her expression contemplative. "And what assurances can you provide that this alliance will be beneficial?" Ethan felt a surge of determination. "Trust takes time, but we can begin by establishing a council of representatives from both cultures. This body can oversee projects that celebrate our strengths while addressing concerns. We can work together to build a future that honors both of our histories." "What kind of projects?" another council member asked, skepticism lingering in his tone. "Cultural exchanges," Nera suggested. "Art installations, educational programs, even joint missions to explore uncharted territories together. We can bridge gaps in understanding while building a strong foundation for future generations." "And what about defense?" the head counselor pressed. "How can we trust that your people will support us if conflict arises?" Ka stepped forward, her voice unwavering. "We will commit to joint training exercises. We will learn each other's strengths, prepare together, and stand as one when faced with challenges. Trust is built through shared experiences, and we are ready to forge that path." The council members exchanged glances, the tension in the room palpable. Finally, the head counselor sighed, her posture relaxing slightly. "You speak with passion, and I can see the bond between you. But words alone will not sway the council. We need proof, an event that can showcase your unity, strength, and willingness to fight alongside one another. What do you have in mind? Ethan asked, intrigued. The head counselor paused, a thoughtful expression crossing her face. A demonstration of strength and resilience, a joint challenge that showcases both human and Yan abilities. If you can succeed, perhaps it will quiet the dissenters among us. What kind of challenge? Carve inquired, curiosity piqued. The head counselor's eyes sparkled with the spark of an idea. A festival of trials. Competitions that test not just strength, but also strategy, teamwork, and creativity. The entire kingdom can participate, and will make it a celebration of unity. Ethan exchanged glances with Kaa and Nera, their excitement bubbling to the surface. "We can do this," Kaa said, a smile lighting her face. "Yes," Nera agreed. "This could be the moment that changes everything." "Very well," the head counselor said, nodding. "You have 1 moon cycle to prepare for the festival. Bring your people together and show us what this alliance can achieve. We will be watching closely." As they exited the chamber, Ethan felt a rush of adrenaline. "We have a chance to prove ourselves," he exclaimed, his heart racing with excitement. "Yes, we do," Kaa replied, her eyes shining. "But we need to start planning immediately. This festival will require immense coordination and collaboration." Nera nodded, already formulating ideas. "We can create different teams, one for organizing the events, one for logistics, and another for community engagement. We need everyone on board." "Let's gather our people," Ethan suggested, a grin spreading across his face. "This festival will not only be a demonstration of our abilities, but also a chance to celebrate our shared cultures." As they moved through the palace, calling for volunteers and rallying support, the excitement was palpable. Citizens from both cultures began to gather, their faces alight with enthusiasm. They shared ideas, crafted plans, and forged connections that had once seemed impossible. The moon cycle flew by in a blur of preparation. The palace transformed into a vibrant hub of activity, filled with laughter, creativity, and shared purpose. Teams worked tirelessly to design events that would showcase their respective strengths while encouraging collaboration. As the festival day approached, Ethan felt the weight of the moment. Would they truly be able to convince the council and their people of the strength of their alliance? He looked at Kaa and Nera, who were deep in discussion with other citizens. "You know," he said, stepping closer, "this has become more than just proving ourselves. It's about celebrating who we are together." Kaa smiled, her eyes shining. "Exactly. This festival will be a representation of our union, not just for the council, but for everyone. We're not just inviting acceptance, we're creating a new tradition." Finally, the day of the festival arrived and excitement buzzed in the air. Colorful banners fluttered in the breeze, music played from every corner, and the aroma of various cuisines wafted through the palace grounds. The atmosphere was electric, filled with laughter and the promise of new beginnings. Ethan and his friends stood at the center of the festivities, their hearts pounding with anticipation. As the opening ceremony began, the head counselor took to the stage, her expression serious but hopeful. "Today, we gather not only to witness a festival, but to embrace a new era," she announced. "Let us celebrate the unity that has blossomed between our people and welcome the opportunity to learn from one another." Cheers erupted from the crowd, echoing across the grounds. The day unfolded with a series of challenges designed to test various skills, from physical prowess to artistic creativity. The first event was a relay race, where teams of humans and Yan worked together to complete a series of obstacles. Ethan teamed up with Kaa, and together they navigated the course, blending their strengths in a beautiful display of teamwork. The crowd roared with excitement as they crossed the finish line, celebrating their victory. As the sun set, the festival continued with artistic showcases, storytelling sessions, and even cooking competitions where citizens worked side by side, sharing recipes and laughter. The sense of unity grew stronger with each event, melting away the skepticism that had once lingered. As night fell, the grand finale was set to begin, a demonstration of strength and skill where both cultures would showcase their best talents in a spectacular display. Ethan stood at the side of the stage, feeling a swell of pride as he watched Ka and Nera prepare. The final event was a combined effort where teams of Yan and humans would perform a series of challenges that required both mental and physical prowess. The atmosphere was charged with excitement as the competitors took their places. "Are you ready for this?" Ka asked, her eyes sparkling with determination. "As ready as I'll ever be," Ethan replied, feeling the adrenaline coursing through him. "Let's show them what we can do together." The event unfolded with breathtaking displays of agility, strength, and creativity. The competitors, united by their shared purpose, pushed each other to new heights. The crowd cheered, their voices merging into a powerful chorus of support. Finally, as the last challenge approached, Ethan felt the weight of the moment settle upon him. It was a test of strategy, one that required both teams to work in harmony, showcasing their ability to adapt and innovate together. As the competitors engaged in the final challenge, a sense of pride swelled within Ethan. He could see the camaraderie blossoming all around him. People were no longer just citizens of two separate cultures. They had become one community, united by their shared goals and dreams. When the challenge concluded, the head counselor stood once more before the crowd, her expression softer than it had been in their earlier meeting. "Today, we have witnessed the power of unity. Through collaboration, creativity, and trust, you have shown us that our futures are intertwined." As the crowd erupted in cheers, Ethan exchanged glances with Ka and Nera. They had done it. They had forged a path forward, one that held promise and potential. The festival continued late into the night, filled with laughter, dancing, and celebration. As the stars twinkled above, Ethan felt a sense of belonging he had never experienced before. He was not just an outsider anymore, he was part of something greater. In that moment, surrounded by his newfound family and friends, Ethan realized that this was just the beginning. They had faced challenges, overcome doubts, and now stood united in a bond that could reshape the future of both their cultures. And together, they would continue to build upon that foundation, weaving their stories into a tapestry of unity, strength, and endless possibilities.